Welcome to the Breakthrough to Brilliance podcast, where we have inspiring and insightful conversations about breaking free from life's biggest challenges to find fulfillment and purpose. I am your host, Seema Giri, an international speaker, best-selling and award-winning author, book writing mentor, and publisher. I bring you real-life stories of healing and transformational journeys so that you know that you can create life on your own terms. Our heart-centered guests are the everyday heroes that you find in your backyard, from mothers to sisters to friends to entrepreneurs and authors. Join us to hear their positive and powerful stories so you too can learn to live with purpose and joy. Welcome to Breakthrough to Brilliance podcast. I'm so excited to be here with you for another amazing episode. Today, we are joined by our international best-selling author, Veena Singla, for our author series. For our most recent book, Break Free to Health and Vitality, that hit #1 international best-selling status. And before we get started, we are going to do a small, quick grounding exercise so we can be here totally present with each other for the moment, in the moment. So please follow along with us, get comfortable in your seat, and just relax into it. Take in a deep breath in and exhale. And as you exhale, just exhale all the worries and tensions that you've had for the day so far. With another inhale in and exhale, just see the peace that is coming over you right now. And with your next inhale, I want you to bring your awareness to your heart. Maybe even put your hand over your heart to bring that awareness. And just think of a happy moment. It can be from any time period in your life. It can even be today. And as you bring that moment to your awareness, I would like you to relive that moment as if you're living it for the very first time. Remember the joy, peace, that blissful feeling you experienced at that time. Think of who you were with, what you were doing. Maybe it was a self-care moment where you had your own luxury time with yourself, for yourself. Maybe you were out in nature, enjoying that moment. Perhaps you were with your loved ones, spending quality time. With your next inhale, I want you to bring your awareness to the top of your head where the crown chakra is, and think of a second happy moment. Again, relive this moment as if you're living it for the very first time. Feel that blissful feeling, that joy. Just embody this feeling right now. And with your next inhale and exhale, our mind and heart is now connected and open. And I want you to open up your mind even more to see what are the possibilities that you can have or gain from our conversation today. Perhaps it's for you, perhaps it's for someone who needs to hear this from you. And I invite our guest and myself to open up our minds and heart and tune in to what our audience needs to hear from us today. And with your next inhale and exhale, we're going to be right here in the moment, for the moment, present with each other right now. And you may open your eyes with a great big smile. Welcome, Mrs. Singla. Welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Well, before we get started with this amazing interview, I want to do a formal introduction of Veena Singla. Veena is a former cancer detection specialist. Veena Singla graduated from the School of Cytology, Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia. She worked for 18 years at GlaxoSmithKline, and she studied disease at cellular level and was suffering from autoimmune disease, and her life was saved by one cell diagnosis. Years of microscope work left her with impaired posture and she left cytology. Later, she developed home-based business called Juice Plus. Over 20 years, she has been an educator of health and wellness, and she believes that disease comes from inside and has to heal from inside, from the food we eat and thoughts we think, and work towards optimal health. Mrs. Singla, that is an amazing background that you have. Can you tell us, what does one cell diagnosis mean?
One cell diagnosis meaning to see under the microscope the details of the cell, whether it's a normal or it's a abnormal. So each cell and the nucleus, they are when they are abnormal, then it's related to some kind of disease. In my situation, that's what happened. That they diagnosed the pemphigus just from one cell, how the nucleus looked relate to the cytoplasm, and how the cytoplasm and the nucleus related to the whole cell.
That sounds really interesting. Well, firstly, let me congratulate you on becoming a #1 international best-selling author. How does that feel?
That feels really, really great. I never thought about it, but feel great.
So what inspired you to participate in this anthology, Break Free to Health and Vitality?
I have been always dreaming to write a book on cancer for a common man to understand what cancer is. But I did the whole part, I did all of it one time many years back, but I never went back to write. But Seema really inspired me to be part of it, to write part of it.
That's, yes, I think you have an amazing story from your recoveries. But why specifically did you want to write about cancer?
Say it again, I didn't follow.
Why specifically did you want to write about cancer?
No, because I feel the cancer can be easily eliminated from the food we eat and the thoughts we think. And the cancer is nothing but a crabgrass, That's how the name came. So if we eliminate the crabgrass, then we can eliminate the cancer from the body.
So, Mrs. Singla, can you tell us what inspired you to participate in Break Free to Health and Vitality?
I really wanted to help a lot of people. I just recovered from the cancer myself. And I thought it would be great time to share with other people from my story.
That is so amazing. And thank you for sharing that, because the more we can share about our recoveries from cancer, I mean, in your case, cancer, I think more people would be more open to trying new things. What was the biggest lesson from your cancer recovery?
Number one is the food, the real food we eat. And number two is the thoughts we think.
So can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
The real food means, the avoiding the processed food, the real food, just like, the food which is changed, like a all-purpose flour. The flour comes from whole wheat, so rather take the whole wheat flour instead of processed food. That will be the real food. And the other is the thoughts. We think so much unnecessary things, for petty things and all that. So focusing on simple, bigger things, what we really want to do. And also pay attention on God inside what he makes you want to do in life.
So what I'm hearing you saying is eat more fruits and vegetables, more whole foods kind of situation. Eliminate eating out as much as possible and processed foods and colored drinks. Try to have natural water as much as possible. And then also connecting to your soul, connecting to the higher power, whatever that may be for someone, and really connecting to who you are authentically as much as possible so you can be who you're meant to be in this life.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Wonderful. Yes, I think all those things really play a role as a whole.
Mm.
So, Mrs. Singla, what was you have always, I'm going to pause. You have always had a very healthy lifestyle. So what do you think was the key factor for you to change even more for your recovery?
You're right. I always believe in a lot of eating more fruits and vegetable and a lot of real food. Still we cheat, a lot of things. And then when you travel and meet other people, I think you just let your guard go away so you can eat whatever you want. I think in my situation that thing happened. You can cheat once in a while, but it should not be every other day or like that. That's what in my thinking. And also, thoughts, your own circumstances in the family that we talk about stress that goes, sometimes it goes deep, then you have to really let go and not to dwell on that. So that is also a very strong part in my situation,
Yes, and I believe that in a day alone, we think of 70 to 80,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot of thoughts.
Yeah,
and then out of that, 50% are repetitive and 100% of that is negative. So imagine thinking those many thoughts every single day. It's like compound interest. It keeps building on you, and that's eventually wears your body down.
Correct.
So, slowly try to just let go of things that are not serving you anymore. Thinking negative and blaming yourself of the things in the past or blaming others. Keeping that anger built up inside you eventually wears you down, and it's not worth it. It's not worth the pain.
Correct.
It's almost like saying you drink the poison and it should affect someone else, right? That doesn't happen.
It does.
These negative thoughts are essentially poison and it's affecting you. Being angry at someone else is actually affecting you even more. So just let it go. Work with someone if you can't do it on your own and try to let it go. Of course, you're not going to be able to let go of everything at once, but if you can do it slowly, take the biggest thing that is bothering you the most and work on that first and just let that go. Or similarly, you can take the smallest thing and let that go first. So it's easier to let go of things. So whichever way works for you, that's what you should be doing. So that's what I'm understanding from you, Mrs. Singla.
That is correct.
Wonderful. So, Mrs. Singla, can you share what is the name of your chapter?
Yes, the name is Wake Up to Your Divinely Inspired Health.
Wake Up to Your Divine Inspired Health. I love that title. Can you tell us what you would like the readers to gain after reading your chapter?
Number one, I feel we should also think we are divine power within ourselves. And you are control of that, and that divine power is your own power connected with your soul, and use that So when I was sick with the cancer or heart disease, that was very much part of me. I saw God behind the doctor and or anybody who is helping me, the caretaker. I saw God behind that caretaker. So that was very powerful.
But Mrs. Singla, that's not something one just automatically starts thinking, right? If you've become sick, it's because of your life circumstances, maybe of, like we were just talking, negative thoughts or your situation. How does one go from feeling helpless and hopeless to feeling like they have the divine power and to think that, there's divineness in everything? What was that journey like for you?
Yeah, because we have to read some scriptures, every morning you start your day with the reading, maybe 4 lines, 5 lines, whatever you want. And that inspires you whole day. Think about that message you read and then dwell on that. And that the other things will take care of it. And another thing I want to say, when you're sick, your part of body is 90% healthy. It's only 5 to 10% wrong. So we have to take care of our healthy part of the body. The other things will let the doctor take care of that. That was the approach I was keeping it for myself.
That's a very interesting way of thinking. I have not heard anyone else say this. So even if you're sick, it's only 5 to 10% of your body, which sometimes feels like it's 100% because of the way it makes you feel. But so you're saying when you're sick, you only 5 to 10% of your body is affected. The other 90 to 95% is still healthy. So if you think from that perspective, that can certainly make it sound so much more better.
Correct.
That's making me think now. That's really great. So one thing is flip the way you're thinking, right? So you're thinking when one gets sick, and I remember when I was sick, I was feeling that way too. Like, why is it me? Or why am I in so much pain? Or why is this not working? And then of course you were there during that time period of my life, and you helped me change my way of thinking and seeing all the things I do have, all the things I can do, and then taking steps to taking care of that and making sure that I could heal. So that's another thing. You're in this situation. You just have to acknowledge and accept that this is what has happened.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And then from there, you take a stock of inventory of what you do have, what you can do. And then on the things you can't do, what are the options and what are the next steps for you to do to take care of the things that you can't do?
That is true. That is true.
So these are the steps, and I think you also follow similar steps. Am I right?
Yes. Yeah. So just things what you can do, and the other leave in the hand of Almighty.
So during this time, I mean, you recover from your autoimmune issues before when you were a cancer detection specialist. And so you went through that whole journey, and that's how you got into the whole food supplement Juice Plus, and you built your business around that. What was different this time in your recovery compared to the first time?
Oh, first time, I don't think I was paying much attention on the food. When I was from the autoimmune disease, I could eat the whole box of cookies. Doctor all said eat healthy. And I didn't even realize that cookie is healthy or not. It was so I just ate aimlessly, without any aim, what food are healthy, what not. So basically, so just ate wrong food.
And then
Did that answer your question?
Yes. Then this time your main focus was on eating more healthier than last time.
Yes.
Okay, great.
And I know better now. You put it that way. I learned now better than
So you
one.
had more wisdom this time around. Do you think you recovered faster because of the wisdom that you had from before?
Definitely. Definitely. 100%, I would say,
So when we go through a journey like this, Mrs. Singla, we become a different person, right? We're
That's
always
correct.
becoming someone new because we're continuously changing. Every day we're evolving. But when you go through a sickness like this, particularly cancer, the transformation is even more than in any other kind of illness, maybe, I think. How were you before the cancer, and who have you become after your recovery?
I just felt it's like a mission, my mission for the rest of my years or days left, to help anybody, person, even one person, if I can help, that will be my goal.
But you
That's
were
my.
doing that before when you had your Juice Plus business, right? I mean, you're still doing that. You were still helping people recover. So what's the difference now?
I think I'm more concentrated with the chapter. It helps me with the chapter writing a chapter. It helps me more focus on the God, the inspiring. The everybody has a power. We have to use that power to recover.
So you're saying that you realize that because, so you realize that you have the divine power within you and you have the power to help others. So you feel more powerful at this time than you felt ever before, even though you were in doing the similar things.
Exactly, that's correct.
Okay, wonderful. So, Mrs. Singla, it is holiday season right now. What is the one tip that you can that you can give to help people get through the holiday season?
I will still come back to the same. Think about your own power. The chapter I wrote is that's what it is. We all have power and use that. Don't let it go in vain. If it's a holiday, you can always choose do the right thing, right? Actually, we have lost the meaning of the holiday. It should be holy days. So really, so that's why we think it's like eat whatever we want to eat. Sweets, that's what it's ending, but we have to change that. It's a holy day, so think right and divinely and change yourself and help other person with that. Let them um, think of the same situation, but they sing the power within us and change whatever we can change and enjoy that holidays, in a holy ways.
So, what I'm hearing you say is that the holidays are holy days, meaning they're really precious, and you should spend the time in connecting, enjoying the connection with your loved ones and your friends, and make the most of this time that we have and really treat it like a quality time. So let go of things that might be getting in the way of that and use this time wisely to be with each other, because connection is the most and highest form of gift we can give to each other.
And that is correct.
Okay.
That's what harmony in the family and the friends. Let petty things go away, as we talked before already. And also another one thing I would bring it up, like let's align our thoughts, words, and action, just like the chiropractor align our spine. So align our thoughts, words, and action, and then things will leave everything in God's hand. Whatever will happen, that's fine. Accept whatever it comes to in your life.
Those are great inputs and great tips, Mrs. Singla. Thank you so much. This is the time to be, we always think that this is the time to be kind to others, which it is, right? It is time to be kind to others. But I would like to remind our listeners to also remember to be kind to yourself. We are our own worst critic and we're the hardest on ourselves. So give yourself some grace this holiday season and really appreciate yourself as well. Love yourself and take time for yourself. If you need a breather during this holiday season, if you need to step out and away just to get grounded and give yourself some space, do that. When you can do that more for yourself, you can show up in much more better way for everyone else. We're always thinking about taking care of others and doing things for others, which is a great thing. But what's even better is if, along with taking care of everyone else, you can take care of yourself as well. Because when you become the better version of yourself, you're giving more love and kindness to everyone else and more peace and harmony. So with that, we wish you a great holiday season. And until next time, this is Seema.
Thank you. Thank you, Seema.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Break Free to Brilliance podcast. I hope you enjoyed our time together. I know I did. Through this transformational journey, I hope you can see yourself taking similar steps, breaking free to your brilliance, and creating the life that you desire. Be sure to subscribe to Break Free to Brilliance wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow along with us on social media using the links in the show notes below. We'll see you again for next week's episode.